again, everyone. Today we want to talk about something that a lot of people may not know, especially just getting out here being independent contractors. We want to talk about writing off business trips.
Business expenses, really. But what really gave us this idea was the Reno trip we just took. Somebody commented and asked if our hotel expense out there was a write-off. I guess they didn't know the whole trip was a write-off. That whole entire trip that we took out there was a business trip. We weren't going out there for pleasure.
Right.
Now, while we did do some things out there, the majority of the trip was all business.
Right.
Which means it's a tax write-off. We weren't going out there for a vacation.
We were able to write off our hotel expenses. We were able to write off the mileage that we drove in our personal vehicle. Now you can write off the fuel, but you do better writing off the mileage when you're in your personal vehicle.
Anytime you use your personal vehicle for business, that you can write those miles off. Say I take my truck to run up to Freightliner to pick up some truck parts and bring it back to the truck and do the work myself. Those miles I use to go pick up those parts, I can write off. I forget what the amount is, what the government allows. It's 50+ cents a mile, I think. So that whole trip, driving to Reno and back, it was 1,700 miles one way, 3,400 miles that we were able to write off.
We were also able to claim per diem because we were away from home. So we can use per diem for those days, traveling to, being there, and traveling back.
Every day that we were gone, even during the days coming back, it took us a little over a day to get back. We were not at home, so that's that's per diem that you can claim. Now some folks might ask, well, can you write off your food? You can write off your food, but you do better with per diem.
Yeah, you can't do both
unless you're spending more than the allotted amount of per diem. So per diem, $62 per person.
So, yeah.
That's $124 that we were able to write off per day. Now, if you're spending that much in food or more than that, you can write off the food amount. So if you're one of those folks that want to go out to Ruth Chris every night, I mean, I guess you could, but I just don't see a lot of folks doing that, So you're always going to want to claim that per diem. We were able to write off our hotels. We had our truck washed because the road trip got our truck filthy dirty, from bugs going through Lubbock, Texas. We got an enormous amount of dead bugs all over the truck. Well, that truck wash to clean the truck up back to the way when we took it, and write that off.
We also had dinner with some other folks that we knew. During that dinner, we did talk about business things. We talked about our transition to Landstar. They helped us with some things. There's a lot of stuff we talked business-wise.
It was a lot of business, so it was a business dinner. We paid for the dinner, so we were able to write that off. Now, that's one of the meal things that you can write off.
Separate from per diem.
Separate from per diem. That is considered, I believe, meals and entertainment.
Yeah.
The rule is you can't write it all off. I think it's like 50% of the amount spent or something, but you can still write that off as a business dinner.
Right.
You took somebody else to dinner to pick their brains, and you can do this all the time. If you guys are at a truck stop and say you guys are hanging out in Laredo and you meet up with the famous Tim Paxton or Alan Paxton. You want to take them out to dinner and pick their brains about expediting. If you guys treat to that dinner, that's a business write-off. That's a meals and entertainment. So
make sure you keep your receipts and write that off.
Keep your receipts right on the back. Treated so-and-so to dinner to learn about expediting more, how to better your business.
One thing I want to bring up, since this is coming up this next week, is the Expedite Expo in Lexington. There's a lot of folks going that may be driving their personal vehicles. Again, that is a business trip. You're going for business purposes. You're networking. You're getting workshops there. That is a business trip.
That is a business trip.
There's a lot of you that are going that aren't even in expediting. You're just going to get information, to network, to go to the workshops, and you're going to be taking your personal vehicles. You're going to be getting a hotel. Make sure to keep those receipts. Write that off. Write off your personal vehicle miles when you go.
Write off the per diem.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be spending money on food to eat there, except for Saturday. Free barbecue. Don't miss
yeah,
out
they have
on that.
the barbecue.
Don't miss out on that free barbecue at the expo.
Which brings me
Saturday evening.
Yeah,
sorry.
Saturday evening. Yeah, it's good food and
you can't
good
write
company.
that off, but it's good company.
Well,
good
you don't have
food.
to pay for that, so yeah, that's included with the expo. And you know, the expo is free. You don't have to pay for that. But again, any of those expenses that you have getting there and staying there, you can write off.
One thing I want you guys to think about when trying to figure out what you can write off and what you can't. There's a lot of things out here that you can write off. The way I try to think about it is it for my business? Would I buy this otherwise if I was not out here on the road? Now, one thing you can't write off is like clothes. You can't just go buy some shirts and shorts and pants and call them business expense, because but unless they're specific uniforms.
Work uniforms, like FedEx, I know that they have to wear their FedEx uniform, and I think don't quote me. I think they might get furnished a set or two, but then any additional they purchase, that's a business expense they can write off. Any carrier, Panther, they didn't require us to wear uniforms, but they did offer their logoed clothing that we could have purchased, and that would have been a write-off.
If you purchase those, that's a write-off. But regular shirts and pants, you can't.
Now, work boots, you can.
Work boots, you can.
There's a few things: gloves, work boots, anything, safety equipment, anything like that.
Winter clothes. We live in Texas. We don't need winter clothes that much, but driving in the winter, we go up into a lot of cold weathers. We needed some really good winter clothes, so we bought jackets, waterproof snow boots, kind of thing. You can Long johns, things like that you normally wouldn't buy because of the region you live in, but you have to because you travel all over. If you need it for work, cleaning supplies for your truck. If you buy cleaning supplies to clean your truck, paper towel, Windex, stuff like that, those are all business write-offs, and this is for you guys that don't own your truck also. If you don't own your truck, even if you're just an independent contractor driving for an owner, a lot of these expenses you can still write off too, because that's what we do out here. We're business owners, even as an independent contractor.
And you can go online and just Google trucking or transportation write-offs, trucker write-offs. There's a ton of lists out there. There's probably not one that's all inclusive. You might have to look up a few different ones. That's what I had to do, and I still sometimes look it up if I'm not really sure if I can write it off. Online subscriptions is one of them that if it's business related, say your membership to OIDA every year, anything online that you have to pay for a subscription, you can write that off if it's business related.
Sirius satellite radio.
Yeah, there's a ton of things you can write off.
I listen to the trucking radio all the time. I listen to the weather channels, I listen to informational, educational stuff that is helping me better my business, and Sirius satellite radio is one of them. I've listened to Kevin Rutherford for a good 2 years now, and I've heard multiple ways of people utilizing vacations and turning them into business trips so you can write off your vacation. We're not privy to how to do this. My understanding is that you have to do something business related each day. I think you have to spend an hour doing something business related. So let's say we took a trip to California to go stay on the beach. Find a Freightliner in that area and go look at trucks. Go look at truck parts. Go look at truck seats. That was kind of my understanding on it, of how to make personal trips, business trips, so you can write those off. And
best thing to do too, ask your tax professional. We are not tax professionals,
absolutely not.
Make sure to any questions you have tax related, refer to your the person who you have prepare your taxes, or your accountant. And they should be able to help you with that too.
Now, one thing I wanted to say about tax write-offs. You can even write off, if you wanted to deck your whole truck out with chrome, get chrome lights, chrome bumpers, chrome mirror covers, all that. Those are tax deductible because it's for your business. One thing I learned listening to Kevin Rutherford was say I spend $1,000 on chrome for our truck. That doesn't mean I just saved $1,000. It only means I'm not going to be paying tax on $1,000.
Right, yeah.
So I didn't save $1,000. I probably only saved about $300 that I would have paid on $1,000 for taxes.
Yeah, so don't get confused thinking, yes, you spent $1,000, so I'm gonna
write off a whole $1,000.
Get that $1,000. You're
Right.
only getting what you would have spent in the taxes.
Right. So think of it like this: if I spend $1,000 on chrome, that's $1,000 that I'm going to be telling the IRS that was not personal income. That was not money that went to me. It went to my truck. So they're not going to charge us taxes on that $1,000. So technically, you only save about $300 or whatever taxes would have been on that. So it's one thing to think about. I think that's a big misconception with tax write-offs and stuff. You don't save that money that you are writing off. You only save what you would have paid on taxes for that money. So.
Right. I mean, I even admit, like, when we first started out, I was real bad about that. Oh, it's a write-off, it's a write-off, it's a write-off. Yeah, it's a write-off, but you're not getting that full amount. So just understand that, too.
Right.
Don't go nuts thinking you're going to get all of that off of your taxes.
Right.
Same thing with per diem. Even though you can write off, I believe it's $62 a day per person, when tax time comes, you can only write off 80% of that. Yeah, so you're not getting the whole $62.
Right. It comes out to like $52 per person, so it's $104.
It's still a good amount, but
it's still really good. I think last year we claimed almost a little over $30,000 in per diem. Longer you stay out, the more per diem you get. You know, the more you go home, the less per diem you get to write off. We just wanted to share that with you guys. That Reno trip was a whole write-off for us. You guys going to the expo, save your receipts. You know, anything you buy out there, or you know, anything you do out there, that's considered a business trip.
Yeah.
It is a business trip, so don't forget to write that off. Don't get crazy with it. You know, oh, I can write this off. I can write. Oh, I'll write it off. I'll write it off. You're only writing off the taxes you would have paid on that money.
Right. And
but if you need it for your business, get it.
Right. And if there's, like I said, if there's any question too, if you can or cannot write it off, try to look it up online. Best thing is to ask a tax professional, your accountant, and they should be able to guide you in the right direction on that.
The way I think about it is, do I need chrome or do I want chrome? Think of it like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this helps somebody out there kind of understand things you can write off. Get online and Google, you know, the things, different write-offs. There might be something we're missing too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's the whole benefit of being an independent contractor or our own business owner, is
maximizing your write-offs,
maximizing your write-offs. You want to find everything you can. Anything you're spending for your business, you want to be able to write it off so you're not paying taxes on it.
Yeah. So. And don't forget, if y'all have any questions, you can send us an email, leave a comment down below, find us on Facebook, message us there. We'll try to help in any way we can. I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing, and until our next video, peace, love, and expediting.